Hello friends, I'm Alice. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing a requested video. My dear friend Jenny asked me how I do my skin tones and how I do the freckles for the girls in watercolor, so that's what I'm gonna show you. Before I start, I will show you a little bit of my supplies, and then I'll probably switch over to voiceover because this time the picture is quite big, so I can show you better. It's also my first time doing a sketch this big, so might take a little bit longer to dry. So yeah, I don't want to have you watch like a 40-minute video. My supplies, of course, we'll be using watercolors. I use the Winsor Newton one, and the colors that we'll be primarily using will be these four: the yellow tones, the red and the pink tone, and then the ochre, I think it's called. And for the freckles, also a little bit of brown and maybe this brown as well. So just brown tones, red and yellow, these colors. The brushes that we'll be using are these. One is the pocket brush, which is included in the Sketchers box by Winsor Newton, and these two brushes are actually also Winsor Newton. One of them is a size 0, which is the small one, and then the bigger one is number 4, which we'll be using for larger areas. And then I also have, if I could find it, yeah, I also have my Pentel Aquage, and this one is in fine. I actually only use this to wet in my colors, just a few droplets on every color, so that the color softens up and it's easier and the colors will be more pigmented. So we will let this sit. And yeah, so these 4 brushes. Then I would recommend you to have maybe some kind of tissue, or in my case is a really old cloth piece that we have, and I only use this to clean out my brushes. Of course, you will need some water, just clean water to wash out your brush and to dilute your colors. And then there's something missing. Oh yeah, I take a piece of plastic sheet which we'll be using to mix our colors. You could be using free space on here, but mine is quite messy and dirty and I didn't wash it off. Also, get yourself some tissue paper to dab away excess color, excess water, or if you have too much water on your brush, you could just take some away. And so definitely have some tissue around. Mine is quite dirty. I have some lipstick on here, but it will do the job. So yeah, that's our supplies, and we will start now, and I'll be probably switching you over to voiceover. I completely forgot, I wanted to show you how I mix the colors. Which will be easier if I don't do the voiceover. So I just take my plastic sheet and my colors, and let's see. We will be taking some yellow, some orange, or like it's still yellow actually. I feel like this will be too orange. Let's take some ochre and some red and some pink. This is way too orange. We need more pink. Ugh, pink, pink, pink. Okay, now this is very orange. You know, that's how I mess up every time. Every time it gets way too... I mean, we can use this later on for the shadows, but I think we will need to mix a new one. Okay, let's start off with the pink. Actually, don't take too much color like I do. I always do this and then it kind of gets wasted. So don't make the mistakes that I do. Yeah, just mix little bits. I think this might be okay. Oh yeah, completely forgot. You also need some piece of paper. Just take some scrap pieces of paper that you might have. And so we can test the colors before we lay them down on paper, and to see if that's actually the colors that we want to use. And also, if your colors are too strong, don't use white to make it lighter. Just take water and add it in, And yeah, or else it'll turn really pastel-y kind of feeling, and that's not what we want. Well, this one is actually okay. Yeah, this one is okay. Let's do this. This is my first time doing this big a sketch, so I'm actually a little bit nervous. Yeah, I don't know how it will turn out, but let's just try. Oh, because the skin, oh my god, I completely forgot a line. Whoopsie. That's why it looked so weird. Okay. So, voiceover time. We take our biggest brush, which is, in my case, the size 4, and we lay a flat wash of the skin tone that we mixed before over her whole face and her neck and also her ears. And the only part that I left white or blank is the tip of her nose, because that's where the light hits. I don't know. And after that we lay a flat wash of brown over her whole hair, and then just some darker parts on the ends. And I don't know, I'm just playing around. I have no idea where or how I should do the hair. Anyway, we're testing the crazy orange that we mixed before, and I'm using quite a lot of water to make it softer. And then I'm looking at my reference photo and just laying down the shadows where I think the shadows are. Just look at reference if you have any, if you have some. If not, then just, I don't know, use reference, because I wouldn't really know where the shadows would be. But I switched brushes. I'm using the smaller brush, and just to go in once more and doing the shadows again. And of course I'm mixing some pink for the lips, and I like to do a flat wash first, and then later on, after that has dried, I will go in once again with some darker color. Okay, now I'm showing you how I do the freckles, like in which motion. Like I take some brown and then use a cheap brush. Use a cheap brush, because this will ruin the tip and the fine hair of it. Because I dab, like I puncture it onto the page, and that's really bad for your brush. I also forgot to do the flushed parts that I really like, so I'm doing that now. Usually I would do that first before doing the freckles. Yeah, because otherwise it will bleed together. But after you've done that, let it dry properly, or your freckles will bleed like really big and it will look kind of weird. So what I do, because I'm impatient, I'm using the tissue paper to dry it faster, which also gives it a little bit of a softer look. So yeah, we're using the brown and just going in. I have no idea where they're supposed to go, where they should sit. It's really just trial and error and whatever you want, really, because freckles, I feel like freckles are everywhere. You can literally put them everywhere. So just do what you want to do and just go in and have fun. For the lips, as I said, I'm going in again, and also I like to have some red parts around the eyes, like the corner of the eyes, and a little bit on the ears. But I'm just fixing a few stuff, and for the hair I didn't like it this flat, so I'm going again with a little bit of dark color, but really I have no idea. I should probably look up some tutorials, but yeah. I wanted her sweater to be pink because I felt like she looks really cute. She looks like those cute girls in children books. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. But we're actually more or less finished. I'm just touching up her eyes, making it a little bit darker, and overall I'm actually quite satisfied with the whole picture. Okay, so this is the finished sketch. And this is how her freckles look like. You know, it's very messy, especially if the picture is this big. I guess I still have to work on how I do this, but at least now you kind of know my process and how I do things. I'll probably work a little bit more on this later on, but overall I would say I'm quite satisfied. My first time doing a sketch this big, and it was fun, so I hope it helped and yeah, that you could, I don't know, take something away from it and that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!